Welcome back to the Battery SaaS Adventure interview series. Today I'm honored to be spending time with Carlos Dominguez, who has been on the Sprinkler board for 4 years with me and recently joined as COO back in February this year. So Carlos, let's talk a little bit about your personal background. So tell me, you've had an amazing journey. Tell me where you grew up and
Sure.
Tell me about it.
So I was born in Cuba, and interesting fact, I'm the son of a Chinese mom and a Cuban father. So I'm very confused. My favorite dish, I guess, is fried rice with black beans, you know. But grew up there, and at the age of 4, we were immigrants due to the political situation in Cuba, and we went, like many people did, of Cuban heritage. We went to what we called Havana North, which is Miami, and a big concentration there. And then eventually we migrated to into New Jersey, where there was another big Cuban population.
Being an immigrant and having sought political asylum in the country, how do you think that might have shaped your career and your journey?
There's snippets in life that you recall like if it happened yesterday. I must have been 5 years old, and I remember hearing sobbing in the middle of the night, and I shared a room with my grandmother till I was 10, just to kind of give you an idea. And I remember my dad, who was the pillar of strength, sobbing like a little child on my mother's shoulder saying, "I don't know if I can do it." And that left such a vivid memory. And I think a lot of my drive, I tell everyone is I'm not that smart, but I'll outwork anybody. Right? If there's something to be done, you can be the smartest guy in the world. I'll just work 10 times harder than you and beat you in whatever it is. And that competitive nature and that notion of working very hard, I think I can route all the way back to watching and playing that memory of my dad crying as a instrument to say, I never want to feel that way. So, as you know, as an immigrant yourself, I mean, these stories shape you in ways that we can't even begin to describe.
Now, you've had an amazing career.
Well, it depends on who you talk to.
I think so. You've had a 20-year run at Cisco during what must have been one of the most exciting growth phases of one of the largest tech companies ever built. Tell me about that experience.
What was really amazing for me in that journey was that I had to reinvent myself almost every 3 years. Because when you're growing at that rate, from a couple $100 million to $1 billion to $3 billion to $6 billion to $12 billion, we were like a rocket. The demands that were on me were amazing, right? And I was one of the few people that was able to continue the transition. Most of my counterparts and peers would peel off every 2 or 3 years because the job would outgrow them. And I think what number one, it was an amazing journey, and I got to see a transformative technology like the internet being built from the ground up. And I have to tell you, it was amazing. I remember 1997 meeting with all the financial CEOs and telling them that they needed to have an internet presence. And it sounds like we meet with world leaders and go visit them in Saudi Arabia and in Israel and all these places and say, hey, by the way, the internet will change the GDP growth of your country. And having these arguments with them, and well, really, no, So to have lived all through that and have had the opportunity to witness how a technology actually transformed how everything is done is probably one of the most greatest gifts I've ever had.